Okay, let's continue. So far, we implemented a homepage where you can join an existing room. Let's say number of chat messages in there, so you can join and continue the chat, or you can join, create a new room, but you have to enter a username and the first message. When you create it, you can do login and all this stuff. So let's say this is a new room now. Tiny pulse, and my name is Adam, and hello. So what happens earlier, we had a validation error. And so Rails 5.01 brought a little surprise in there. I say there's a problem when you just say belongs to this and then accept nested attributes for, you save the room, a new room will go into the new messages and try to save the messages. In the past, when you do room.save, it actually do it will check room.messages, and then it will see if there's any message sort of unsafe, like changed, and then it will save it, right? But these are new messages, and in the past it remembers that this message.room exists. But in new Rails, like, they actually separate the concept. So you want this one to exist to know what room it is. So after you save the message, save the room, messages can update. And to do that, we need an extra thing here. It used to be optional, but inverse room. So this, and I don't know. So maybe I don't have the link here, but that's how you handle without the validation still work correctly. Okay. So let's continue. It's been a while since we last commit. So what did I do? Room, yeah, a lot, messages, something like that. So I'm going to show you two screens, a incognito and this one. And then the first time when I join a room, so let's say this guy joined public, and I'm already highly in here, but this guy I'm not, right? And then let's say if I type a message, let's go eat, and then let's say my name is Bob. I want to save that as well to session. So messages, where is it, guys? Down here, right? If unless current user, if not, then you do what? Session, you sort of set current user. Username is, what is it, guys? Message.username, right? Okay. So now I just create this message, but from now on I'm Bob and this is hi. All right, let's use some JavaScript to make things better. So what do you want to do first? When I write something here, you want the other page to update. That's one. Or when I write something here, I click this page stay the same, but it also updates itself. Which one do we want to do first?
The second one's probably simpler.
The second one. All right. So the second one, if I say enter here, create this, the second one will actually refresh by itself. What's the simplest way to do it? So I will go into what? Room show down here. Let's add some JavaScript. Okay. I have a function called reload. So how do I reload it? This window. How do you reload? Window.reload? No. How do you reload the page? Means you can actually say JavaScript reload page. You just say location reload. So inside window there's a location. A lot of times they share a similar method. If you want it to go anywhere, you can say that, and it'll go there. Well, you have to pass in the whole URL thing, right? And it'll go there. But it's not a valid. Come on, it is a valid. No, without. So then it goes there, right? So I want to go by to itself. So window.location.reload. So let's say, what if I'm in public and this guy is in public, okay? What if I call reload every
1 second.
1 second, right? Set interval. So then you go, so like again, JavaScript, you do want set interval function. And you can pass in a function. So here I have my reload function, and then do it every 3 seconds. Okay. So that's JavaScript. Okay, let's try this guy, and then this guy. Look to the left, right? Do you see it updates? What is the problem with this approach?
If you're typing, it's
Huh? It's not real time is one. And second, if I'm typing something here, it reload. It's affecting my page, right? What if I only reload the top part, this messages part? How can I do that? Huh? You don't reload the whole page. You only reload a small. That's called AJAX. Okay? So we can learn, like, yeah, jQuery now. jQuery is the same as the $sign. You can say .ajax. You can submit to the current page, and then you get the results back. Okay? So I need to do that. But I also do it every 3 seconds. It just doesn't affect my form. So up here, I call this my messages. Okay? And then when I go here, I just submit jQuery, maybe the AJAX. I submit to URL. What? Messages path, right? So you can actually say room messages path. It's the same as this. So I say room messages path. Path this room. Okay. So I'm going to show you. It has to be in a string. Okay. So if I write this, and I'll stop the interval for now. Okay, did I write something wrong? Oh, it has to be a hash. This is not as smart as Ruby. Okay, and let's look at the JavaScript on this page. Okay. Oops. This is a bit small. Now in this container, in this script, reload. See this? So if I call this reload function, I define this function, so now I can call it. Yeah? It will send a GET request to this room/messages. You see this one? And it say not found. Let's look at the, I love error-driven development. So let's look at this. It go to room/messages. We don't have that one, right? Oops. Where do we go? So let's implement room/messages. Here, that is an index, right? Set room. Okay. And then I'm gonna hand render here an HTML file. So maybe I render text for now. Yeah, plain. I think hello. So if you go into this location/room/1/messages, it say hello. You see, it could be HTML, but I'm just lazy. That's okay.
what is set room?
Set room is the function down here.
Got it.
Right? So hello. Right, let's go back to this guy down here, and I do it reload one more time. You see no more error. If you say XHR, that's the AJAX stuff, right? And then if you click on this, it takes you to the network tab, and then you can click on that thing, and you can see. That's the old one. Let's try one more time. Reload, and then I click on this one. This messages. Hello. What do we want in there? What do we want in there? So instead of hello, I want the whole thing, right? Yeah, so maybe in this index.html.erb, I render messages. Instead of hello, I just render messages like that. But in here now, I need to load my messages, right? Okay. So now if you go here, what we would say? It would say no messages partial. So let's create the partial. Up here now, see these guys? You copy this and turn it into a messages partial. Where do you put it? Messages underscore, right? And then up here you just need to render, right? Something like this, message, but the variable is message, like that, right? But you know, Rails is smart enough. This can just be one line like that. It's the same, okay? Because it knows the variable name. Down here is message. But because it also smart enough, if it's an array, I already told you guys. So this whole thing becomes render messages, right? So let's go back to our previous page, our public forum, public chat room here. Render messages. If I go back to this page now, render messages. So I think if I do an AJAX call again, this time reload, okay? Click on this guy, and oops, one more time. I click on the wrong thing. Click on down here. If it's big enough, you see it, and then I click here. You see my messages. But what's the problem? It's the whole HTML page. I want just a little bit. I only want the messages. So imagine I can get this text. So yeah, so there are many ways. For example, if I down here I say render layout false, okay, then I only get the messages this like that. You can view source like that, you see, and then you can add it to your page, right? So where is my page? Room show down here. This AJAX thing, it allow you, and you know, there's a function here to get the data that's passed back to you. There's a more friendly, when you do this, don't be afraid to do right method like this, and you look up the API. And the API is that you pass in the URL, and then you pass, you know, you can pass in extra parameters. You can say what type it is. The most common though is get. So there's a shorter API called get. When you do get, you can just pass in the string. Okay? And then in here, this is the response. So I'm going to do this. I pass in the response as a second argument. See this one? And I say, I print it back out. I got response. Okay, let's go back to this reload. This thing. I'm gonna do reload. I got this whole thing. Yeah. Yeah. Now because I got that, so what if I know up here? You know, what do you call up here is, if you inspect it, this container is messages, right? This whole thing. So what if I can do something like this? Messages, it's a div, so it's a class. So this one, right? What if you can say HTML hello? What happened? The whole thing is replaced with hello. So now I can actually say dot messages dot what? HTML response. Do you think it will work? No. Why? Okay, I'll show you why. reload, and then click in here. Click in here. You see the all this sign? You see all these parentheses? I also have parentheses outside here. So in this JavaScript, it just changed all this HTML into this run, and then it closes too early. You see the string, and then the whole JavaScript is broken. You need to convert all of this. You have to escape all the stuff. So then you're like, JavaScript, let's encode URI in component stuff. So then you need to be able to escape it. Okay? I think this may be like CGI escape or something. Let's see. I never use it. That's Ruby. But you can search that, but we don't need to use it. We tell Ruby to escape it for us. Okay? Now, but HTML is ugly. That's not what it's designed for. What we want is something like this. Forget the HTML thing. Yes, you can go to this page. Now I turn off the layout false, so you keep the whole application layout. This can return this whole thing. I will support one more type. What you see in the format.html is in the HTML file. Okay? I also have format.js. Yeah? And I can create a file called index.js. Okay? Now, because we can put Ruby variable in there, you can do .erb as well. That's the common naming. If you don't, it still works. It always goes through ERB stuff. So index.js.erb, okay? Now if I go here, I say, alert, what's up? Okay? So if you hit this page as a script type document and not as an HTML request, it will return just JavaScript. So let's look at the log here. You ready? This is the log. This is my thing. If I call reload, what is reload doing? Remember? You can actually type this. You can see the source. Reload. It will go into that, but jQuery will guess what format you want. So it will go there, and in this case, it say, hey, whatever. It's sending a */* format. It doesn't know, so it's like, oh, you have HTML, just render HTML. So I have to tell jQuery to send this as a JS request. There's an easy way. You can say .js here, or you can pass in an argument. Let me see. Or you can do like format JS. Rails will generate the route for you. Oh. .js, like what I did, also work, but down here is a bit silly. All right, ready? You see this .js? Now it knows, right? Normally, Rails doesn't require you to put .html at the end, just .html, but you can do .js, .json and stuff. Okay, so I have that. If I run this function, which you need parentheses, what happens? What's up? It runs the alert. So now I can run any JavaScript I want. So imagine I have this thing down here. I just need now like run successfully, right? And then you can pass in this response if you want to see it. But now I have JavaScript I want, so I actually can say .messages. I can actually update the messages up here in this JavaScript. So what do I update in here, guys? Because it's in Ruby. Render messages. Yeah, and of course it will fail because of all these like things, and so you need something called escape JavaScript. So just turn that into blah blah, and the short form is J. So let's see. If I do this here, I run reload. It runs successfully, but this is the JavaScript it returned. You see this? It escaped all the characters inside. But this text is run as JavaScript. You don't believe me? You also say alert done updating. Let's not do alert, right? Console.log done updating. Okay. All right. So this is just JavaScript. It makes sense. Let's have two guys chatting with each other. This guy on the left and this guy's on the right. Okay. I keep clear everything here. Reload this page. All both in the public room, right? This guy's now I turn back this set interval. Reload. And then this one. So every time you reload, it will say run successfully. So you know it will do that. You see this? I'm not gonna print it out. It looks too long. So one more time. This you see every 3 seconds. Run successfully. Done updating. So let's say, yo, right? I enter over here. You see this updated, right? Same with over here. If I say this guy here, over there every 3 seconds it updates. So it's not as easy at all. So your number 2 request is done, right? That's real time. If you want more real time, come back next week. So you can do it unobtrusively. It's actually even Facebook at some point load certain notification icon. Sometimes it's fine to do this, but the proper way that's really real time, it doesn't have to send all these web requests, is to do WebSocket, which we talk about next week. But this is very important to learn because we're learning JavaScript to work with Rails. Okay, I am going to commit this very quickly and say implement auto reload. If you don't print this out, it looks very normal. No one knows that, yes, if you load the console, you see this loads. That's very normal. If you go to a complicated website like Lazada or Facebook, you always see some of this run once in a while. It's called polling for changes. Great. Let's do something called AJAX, the Rails style. This is the very difficult one. Rails make it super easy. So you don't even have to do all this jQuery.get. You never have to use it even. So let's say I have, I'm going to turn off this set interval for now. I use this to explain how it works because even most people, they learn Rails by following the tutorial, but they don't understand why it works. So if I go to the form, where's the form? Room messages form, right? Show here. This form, what if I add a remote true at the end? What do you think will happen? Look at this page, right? Alright, let's make it look a little bigger. Look at it. Now if you click this, uh-oh. Did it load? Let's try one more time. This is the form. Oh wow, what's happening? When it comment this out, that's not good. It does what it already okay. Form to remote. This is weird. Why is it sending again? Oh, it's still reloading. Sorry, because this is still reloading, so it looks cool. Okay, let's try again. 1. Create message. It sent a post over AJAX. Okay, and then I don't know why it sent post over AJAX. Okay, and let's look at the log. It sent this post. Where's the post, guys? Up here, right? Do we see post? Oh my goodness, it's still reloading or what? Oh yeah, this is still reloading. I don't want this to reload. Stop reloading. Because I already commented this out, right? Stop reloading. Okay, also let's stop some, let's destroy some of these messages. So you can do delete all. Yeah? Okay. If you do destroy all, it will go into each one and destroy it. Delete all is faster. Okay. Let's try again. I don't understand why it posts and then it's doing another get. That's not what I want. That's quite weird. See messages. Oh, yeah. So you see, after it finished, it redirects to this room thing, and then it. Oh, good lord. So I need to create a new browser tab. Rails is being ridiculous. It keeps the the infinite auto reload thing. Come on, let's wait 3 seconds. No more reloading, okay? 2, enter. No more reloading, right? And then I'm going to show you this. When you create, let's sleep for 2 seconds. So let's say create take a long time. 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah? So it processed the show as HTML. It's actually submitting back. But TurboLinks make it quite fast. TurboLink just changed the body content. The HTML inside this. You have the head and the body, right? So this form, we want it faster. Are we looking at the right form, guys? This form, right? Okay, in this form, if I click this message, you see this? Create. I want it to just not do anything. You go to post, and then it's quite silly. Every time Rails does things a little different. It should actually complain a JavaScript request here. You see it's a JavaScript request, right? Where is it? Uh-oh. Oh yeah, a JavaScript request, and then it shouldn't redirect anywhere. Only HTML can do that. So Rails is in this case, quite stupid. So I think there's some API change. So what happens here is this redirect, and I want it to be like this. I'm gonna change it down here. You can do a respond to block inside this, but I want to do it here. Respond to do format again, format.html. If room was saved, then you can say persisted, redirect to room. Else, do this. Do this. I keep the logic out. That's HTML. This is JavaScript. So, all right. Now we can do something in here, right? And I create a file called create.js. Again, I can do ERB. So I say, in here I say new message. Ready? So let's say 2. That's why one more time. This is not good. 2. Create at. Why does it redirect again? Let's debug this. What happened? Go to, oh, it's not room create. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Messages create. Down here. Same deal. So I'm going to move this whole block over there. Sorry about that, guys. And then if here is message, and let's just reset this. Okay. This is good. Keep that. Here. Sleep 2 seconds. Create the message. If the message is saved, don't do this over here yet, right? We just try to save the message. And then down here we say, did it save? Then go to, this is HTML. This is JavaScript. And I create the rooms create.js. I'm going to move it to messages. Okay, so let's try one more time. Finally. to and new message. So that's an alert, but what should we do? What should we do in this guy? No, just add let's update the body, right? So in this create, you can say, hey, give me your messages. Let's append that. This is new message into it. How do you append it? Render. How many? This one. And then you should escape it. Okay? So what happens is now I turn off this sleep and just look very carefully at this lock, okay? Okay. Check. Enter. Post as JavaScript JS, and then it rendering this JS.erb. This JS.erb run and render the message in there, but the content is what? The content is is something that finally append this check here. You guys see the changes, right? Let's try one more time. I have the network tab now. So check 2. All right, let's look at this. Oh God, why is this network tab so annoying? Oh, I think it's too low. All right, click on this. Click on this. You see, this is what it does. Append another message that we know how to render. Is it clear? So, what is one more thing we have to do, guys? Look at this guy. You already append. So, what else do you need to do? Oh yes, thank you. So, how do you do clear? You have to know what this thing is, right? Click here.
Input type.
Input. You see this ID? Rails generated by default. Message underscore ID here. So you can find any form and element. So maybe you can say input underscore message body. And that's an API for it. So in this case, you just say value is nothing. You can test this whole line in the console first to make sure it works. It's done, right? So now what you have just done is I have a page, Rails page. Normally, if you submit a form, TurboLinks will still make it a little faster than normal. Change the whole body up here. But now when you submit, it keep everything. It only add by just a little HTML. Right? And the message is clear and it adds there. And imagine, look at the code you just did. Really nothing. Format.js, right? Separate your HTML format in this block. JS, you don't have to care about this. Right? Maybe in JS, you can still go to ERB and you can say if the message existed or not. You can show the error. Down here, the only thing you need to do is remote true. See, you can do link to as well. Form for remote true, and then go to create at .js, right? And then in your create.js, where is it? It's as simple as this. Create.js, right? Make sense? So that's create. But there's no form that submit to the index action. So earlier we did the reload, right? So the three most remember our messages thing? We don't really use it, but it's kind of nice to see it like this. And then .js, if you do it here, what happens? Rails will be like, no, you can't call JavaScript format from the URL, right? You can also do this, .json. What happens? It will say, well, I don't know this format, man. So how do you do it? Respond to format JSON. You can do like this, or you can do the block syntax, right? That's a bit shorter. Format.json in here, and then you can say render. How do you render it? Messages. Yeah? enter here. And then it's like, well, what is it? I don't know. So then you have to say, well, no. If you say render something, is always HTML. If you want to render plain text, you say plain colon. Remember, if you want to render X, then you have this. And now you can build your iPhone app, you know, with this backend, right? Because you guys took the iOS class, and this is what you need. You can tell it what attribute to do, but right now it just default to show all the attributes. But this is powerful because there's another way. Remember the reload function? How do you reload it? Room new show, right? Remember this, you reload by JavaScript. You can reload by JSON. If you do this reload, let's say this is reload number 1. I'm linked this, but I have another reload. Reload JSON via JSON. You can implement this star.get JSON as a jQuery function, and then you can pass in the same thing here. Room messages path room format JSON, and then let's see what you get. Right, function response, or you call it data, and console.log. You know, data is, and then pass this response. Okay. And let's say double check that. So what if I go to this page, I go join, you know, public room. Oh, there's too many messages. Let's go to this room. I have the reload JSON function, right? Uh-oh. Guys, what happens? Oh, there's an error here. Reload this page. What is it now? Hey.
Oh, you forgot to close the get, the parenthesis
Where?
over here, right? The JSON, the get JSON.
I forgot. I closed it here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it needs
Oh, that's right. That's why it's red, right? Okay. Thank you.
Wait, what?
Oh, wow. This is really messed up.
Oh, you forgot the.
Yep, over here. Okay. We have like multiple bugs on the same screen. Let's look at reload JSON. This is another strategy. Reload to. What's the definition? Reload JSON, right? Definition is send a message to here, and then it's print out the result. So I say reload JSON, let's call it. And it print out this result as an object of elements, right? So if you reload it, now you can write JavaScript instead of Ruby. Ruby, you have the template, you have random messages. But in JavaScript now, you can say, well, go to this JSON object and update this HTML. You can loop into the JSON object. So the browser is doing the work. Ruby is doing less work. Ruby doesn't have to worry about all these partials. Ruby just gives you data. So when you have more users, Ruby does less. Because each JSON request is like 10 milliseconds. But if you go and render the Rails, this reload sending a JS, remember you have to render the whole partial. Where is it? For create JS, right? You have to render the partial, and it takes longer. Right? So that's the difference. When you look at anything in the Rails log, you see there's a completed, there's a status, views how many milliseconds, active record how many milliseconds. The database load will be the same, but the views, if you render JSON, is much faster, right? Because there's no logic of this partial load another partial. If you render JSON, then the browser will take care of it. Now it's slower for the user a little bit, but the user cannot notice because JavaScript on your browser is rendering it. And this is why this is where you work with React or Angular or Ember front end JavaScript library, because now you have to write template similar to this partial. It's a template on the client side. Then you can update. a template on the client side can look exactly like similar to your ERB thing. Ruby is server side. ERB inspire a lot of things. It's very basic. Remember the syntax? So you actually have AJAX, JavaScript template, and you could actually pass in. You can use it, but obviously no one does this. Right? There are better tools. Okay. So yeah, just to give you an idea, a sample of what it's like working with JavaScript. A lot of time for our convenience, just render on server side. There are a lot of advantages too. You can cache. If you render the partial, it already cache the partial. It's super fast. If you do JavaScript, you can cache on the JavaScript client side. There's more work for you to figure out. So this will be week 7 if we fast enough. I can teach React and then how to render on the client side. But this week 4, we teach Rails side, which is not JSON but JS. And JS provide the script to update the page.
So
right?
Is TurboLinks basically loading the body through your AJAX every time you click a link?
Yeah, it's called PJAX, similar to PJAX technology. So it's not exactly AJAX, but
And then it just updates the
yeah.
URL,
So
like fake.
it updates everything, but it's you can read about how it works. When you use AJAX, the problem is all this browser history button. It's not there, right? It's nothing changes. But if you use TurboLinks or PJAX, some other technology, they actually get to this browser history and then they also update this, so you can do back and forth. But they update the page. Sometimes if you submit a form, okay, let's submit the entire thing, render the entire thing. Some other time you're like, well, you click on this, let's load only the body because the head is probably the same from the same website. Yeah, even better, TurboLinks cache your page. So sometimes you go back to the index page, even though before the browser returned to you, TurboLinks display the version of the index page from yesterday. And you're like, whoa, is there? Then it updates. But a lot of time it updates and it looks the same, so we don't notice. But if you have a heavy page, you will notice, oh, and then it changed to the latest version. So TurboLinks is quite smart. It can even do that for mobile. It's quite cool. You guys definitely should read this if you like, they can do this, it make it faster than the normal Rails request. They release an API for for doing iOS and Android mode application with TurboLinks backend that feel faster than normal web requests because of all this caching and JavaScript replacements.